y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. That's like that one comedian. He's like, yeah, go. I'm going to go with Biden. Sacrifice for the economy. You know, the gas prices are going up. It's okay. I can deal with that. Yeah, I just bought a Tesla. But
I know that shit is fucking horrible, bro.
Hmm.
then the
That was Stephen
Tesla,
Colbert that said that.
but see, he also came out and he followed that up with, but then I think about it and, you know, the power I'm getting is from a power plant, and 90% of the power plants use, you know, oil and all that stuff. So he's like, I guess I don't know. I like the way he bit both sides on that one. Well, the funny thing about this powered cars they're pushing us to, they're hiding another $1 trillion, multi-trillion dollar expense in our power grid. Because right now, if we put, and say there's a cul-de-sac that's got 10 houses on it, our power grid could handle no more than 3 of those houses being set up with those power walls, solar, and the stuff you need to charge those cars. Our power grid can't handle it. They're not mentioning that now. That's one of those prices that's going to come up, and they're going to go, oh well, we didn't realize that was going to happen, and blah blah blah. But it's in there, and it's in all of this stuff that they're spending on their new green energy plan. Are these hidden price bombs that once we're committed, we can't back out. We're going to have to do it.
I sent y'all a video that's kind of related to this. I don't know. I think it was John Oliver, but they were talking about how in most of the places the electric company is a monopoly, like, and it's because of the startup is so expensive. Anyways, long story short, these companies push against people the ability to make their homes solar paneled and subsidize the amount of that they spend, for power every month. And so I think that's a part of this because, if these companies didn't have such an ironclad monopoly, then the homeowners could retrofit their homes in ways that won't have a burden on the grid. Because you're right, these cars got to be plugged up, and the power has to come
No,
from somewhere.
solar energy, you have to have a power wall. You have to have batteries and things like that. Connecting it into the power grid and everything is actually a little more difficult to do than just plugging up a normal house. The power grid has to be able to handle it. It also has to be able to handle the backwash. Like if I produce more energy than I use, they have to buy it back. It comes back, but the power grid can't always handle that back. That, like I said, there's a lot more to it than just building some things and making a couple of wires. I mean, it's.
But what it comes down to is economics and greed, race to the bottom, profit, monopoly. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see,
Because
that's just it. They're doing all this, and they're not letting you know about this thing. Meanwhile, they're already cutting off other forms of energy, older forms of energy. They're trying to choke and cut that out. Which, by the way, if you look at the headlines, we have revoked drilling leases. A whole bunch. Biden revoked a whole bunch of drilling leases just recently. So on top of them making it harder to get them, they're now shutting more down. So U.S. Energy is going to be producing less oil now. Just to let you know, we're going to hit $7 a gallon before this is over here in Houston,
it's
or at least $6.50 here in Houston before this is over.
fucking ridiculous.
This is
But
my prediction. Like I'm predicting this, like I predicted these 2 bad things that have happened recently.
I'm not gonna argue with you because you're probably right. So, but damn it, I lost what I was gonna say. Oh, I remember when I was a kid when all the calculators were solar panel. Like they was like all the solar stuff came out, and it was like this is gonna be the wave of the future. Everything's gonna be, solar powered and shit. And it's like that shit all went away, and it never happened. Like But back then, everything that was coming out was that had those little strips on them. You know what I'm saying? And now
those solar power calculators, I pulled one out after 20 something freaking years, and it's
Still
still lit up. And these things today, these solar panels, oh, we got to replace them every 4 years. Like, what the fuck?
that's another thing. And then you can't even find those calculators. Can you buy those in the store right now? Probably all the ones you can find are old.
Walmart's got some, dollar stores like Dollar Tree. They've got some in the old style. I mean, I don't know if they'll last 20 years like the old Casios did, but they've got that little hole with the strip behind it and work like normal. Put a flashlight on it and it lights up.
And that's my example, bro. Like, that's what I'm trying to say, because you're saying, okay, they gotta set up the firewall or whatever, the pack to hold the power and connect it to the grid. It's not that complex. It's not that simple. But this technology has been out since I was a little kid. So you can't tell me that they fucking don't,
Not this technology. You're talking about simple solar batteries and batteries. This is connecting AC and DC power to a live grid on an individual basis.
But you can't tell me they haven't been working on that since at least back then when I was a kid.
I'll tell you the truth. If we were like England and had the different power supply, it wouldn't be near as much of a problem. But we went with this different power supply, and I really want an electrician to come out. I know I said that wrong, and that's the best way to get the right answer. Someone is maybe going to give us the right answer and explain it better. But because of the way our power grid is why we have so much problems.
And I don't really completely understand, but I understand as far as what you mean, like
you
DC, AC,
yeah.
the way the plugs are different in other countries. I get it. And I get how that could be a problem, but what I'm saying is,
I gotta research it a little to explain it.
But what I'm saying is, like, if they've been aware of this since at least I was a kid. I'm old now. By now, they should have been to fucking work that shit the fuck out. What I'm saying is that's bullshit. I'm saying that's all just a reason for them to keep on making money. It's because the damn, how they gonna monitor? What if we could just put these strips on the top of our cars, or put them on anything that we have that we want to power?
It's not that. That's what I'm saying. It's not like that though. You can't just hook that kind of source up to something and it work. I mean, this is where we need the engineer to come in and talk to us about it.
Yeah. Well, this and another thing, I'm gonna cover this, the one you sent me, but I wanted the one about the water.
Go scroll down and to this. Read the text in this. Scroll down and it's going to say Aaron Salter, the inventor.
Oh, so this video is them talking about it? This one at the top?
I didn't actually watch the video. I just read the text.
Oh.
The text talks about it.
I was just... Okay, let me see.
Keep going.
I briefly read over and I didn't see nothing about it.
Keep going.
Okay, I see it now.
There you go. All impatient and shit. It's not like always right up at the top for you.
I did skim it, and I didn't see it. So, and I think this one video right here is the one. Let me see. Oh, but it's 26 minutes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles Eugene Day from DHI Systems Incorporated. I have here with me today Mr. Aaron W. Salters from AWS Hydrogen Alternative Energy Systems. We're here to discuss Mr. Salters' new discovery on hydrogen systems for running vehicles. So I'm going to ask him a series of questions about himself, and then I'm going to ask him about his discovery, experimenting with hydrogen systems, and how he came about that. Okay. All right, Mr. Salter, a few questions here. What is what is your current field of profession?
I'm not going to play that much of this, but just for the audience who's not aware, this is the security guard who was shot at that Tops grocery store when that guy came and killed all those people. And they're hailing him as a hero. He popped the guy a few times, but he didn't get him down. And the guy popped him and killed him. So this is that guy. But some people are saying that there's a conspiracy theory related to the shooting, and this guy was a hit. And maybe all the rest of the people died just as a result of, them wanting to get this guy. Because it's like a plot in a movie where like you are a hitman and you make it look like a mass shooting, so to throw the people off the trail of the hit. And then some people are saying that maybe it was even other people that were in the grocery store too. But some people are saying that it was really just for this guy because he created this water card. Let me play some more of this. I'm not going to play much of this.
Current field of profession, I'm a Buffalo police officer. I've been a police officer about the last 27 years.
Okay, Mr. Salter, and what kind of background do you have in, if any, in chemistry, electronics, and automotive mechanics?
Well, I graduated from Hutch Tech. I graduated from Hutch Tech in 1984. After I graduated from Hutch Tech, I went to Canisius College. I went there for 4.5 years. Just credit shy of getting my degree. And then that was in 1988. And in 1989, January of 1989, I went into the Buffalo Police Academy.
Okay, and what spurred your interest, Aaron, if I may ask, in hydrogen electrolysis systems for running with? What spurred your interest? Is that the first project you ever had with of this sort?
No, I always guys used to laugh at me. I had built a solar collector where we collected solar rays and would heat my house. And a lot of guys showed interest in me doing that. But in approximately 2011, gas prices had went up to like $5 a gallon.
Correct, that is correct.
And so I went on the internet and I started looking some alternative energy sources, and I came across an article about electrolysis, and it was very interesting to me. And I purchased some plans on how to run your car on water from the internet, and I got it just to see. I was skeptical myself. I didn't believe that it would work, but I just wanted to see, if you could get hydrogen from water. So I would go around and ask other mechanics, back in like 2011, and nobody had ever heard of what I was talking about, even though it's been around since the 1800s. But nobody in my circle, in my area, I mean, I went around to quite a few automotive shops, and nobody had ever heard of electrolysis.
Okay, and for the viewing audience, we'd like to say, correct me if I'm wrong, electrolysis is a process by which one separates the molecules of certain elements or certain, like water, for example. That's hydroelectrolysis. Electrolysis would basically separate the hydrogen from the water, which is H2O, which is one atom of hydrogen, 2 atoms of oxygen.
Yes.
And the electrolysis is the process that separates that.
Yes.
And that is a process by which, upon doing that, can you explain how, from your perspective, how that can actually run an automobile?
Well, the people have been trying to do this since the 1800s. So the experts pretty much know from the laws of thermodynamics. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. It says that you cannot produce enough, you can't separate the molecules fast enough to run an automobile because of heat. Okay, because the more energy it takes to separate the molecules, the more heat you get. So it has been tried by companies, it's been tried by nations. There have been literally thousands and thousands of people who have been trying to find the holy grail of getting getting vehicles or engines to run on through electrolysis.
Okay, now, you know that you can go on the internet and you could see several people claiming to have achieved that. The most that I've seen was from 2012, these videos, but nothing else has come about that process since. How do you feel about that? What is your take on that?
Well, I believe that it could. There are additives that you can put in water to make molecules split faster. Stanley Myers, he's one of the fathers of electrolysis. He had a dune buggy that ran off of water, but it was deuterium water, which is a heavy water. It's found naturally in water. But it takes a lot of water. It takes like a couple 100,000 gallons to make like a quart of deuterium water. And of course, so when you get that hard water, and that's the water that's used to cool and power your nuclear plants with.
Deuterium water.
Deuterium water, yes.
Okay, and deuterium is what, an element, a chemical?
It has more molecules of hydrogen attached to it. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So when you split it, you get more of it. So if you put it in electrolyte, and you run voltage through it, you'll get 3 or 4 times the amount of hydrogen that you would get from just splitting water.
Okay, and for the viewing audience, we'll explain hydrolysis is a process of applying electricity to water to separate the hydrogen atoms and the oxygen atoms, which is H2O, which makes up water. So let's get into your system, Mr. Salter. What is your approach to solving? What have your approach been to solve the issues of heat? Does your system use deuterium water? Explain your system to us.
Yes. Well, I realized after I got those plans, I tried to build it like the plan said, and I was not successful in that splitting the water fast enough to run a vehicle.
Okay.
It makes it seem like, okay, if you could use 12 volts to split molecules fast enough to run a power or a vehicle or an engine, then it would be so easy to be done. It would already be done. Okay, normally people would just be running on it. You know what I mean? You could go out there and take a little can and put some stainless steel into it and put 12 volts to it, and all this hydrogen is gonna split and you run a vehicle. So that didn't happen. So what I started doing was, as I put current through it, I realized it produced heat, like the laws of thermodynamics says. The experts are pretty comfortable. The oil companies are pretty comfortable in knowing that there's not going to be many people that's going to be able to split it fast enough. So I realized that if you're going to run a vehicle on water, that it's got to be a system. Okay, it can't just be just putting voltage in a glass jar and splitting it fast enough. So I took an approach of, you need a cooling system, you need a circulation system, more like a system that you can attach to a vehicle. Of course, I have mine on a 2004 F-150.
Now, is your system As you told me prior to this interview, and I asked you, are you using a hydrogen cell? And if not, can you explain the difference between your system and how a hydrogen cell is used?
Well, any metal you can use to split it. It's got to just be close enough together, and you have to have voltage. Okay.
Correct.
So
And is that what a hydrogen cell is?
a hydrogen? Basically, yes. That's basically what it is.
So it's a process of electrolysis,
It's just the process of electrolysis.
but a
yes.
different name.
No, it's the same name. I refer to mine as a hydrogen generator, as it produces generators. Most of the industry now, the standard industry, what they do is they have a container. They use 12 volts, and they pipe it into your air intake to let you get more miles per gallon.
Right.
So if you're getting 20 miles per gallon, if you put this on there, you can get 26, 27 miles to the gallon.
Okay, and you at this point, you showed me a working prototype of that particular system.
Yes.
You'll be able to go on his website it's awshydrogensystems.com to actually see the actual system run. But I'm going to let Mr. Salter explain what is the difference of his system, the ramifications of his system, and where does he plan on taking his system to?
Well, what I discovered of my system is that in 2011, when I had was doing electrolysis and just finding things out about it because it had never been done before, and so I really didn't have anything to reference it to. That was around, I want to say April, so about September-ish of that year.
Which year is that?
Of 2011.
Okay.
The winter time is approaching, and so what I did was I took the water out of my system. And so that year, 2012, it was in March. And so I was trying to perfect the system that I was using. And so I put water back in my system. Okay. And I didn't have any electrolysis hooked up to it. There was no electrolysis hooked up. All I had was water. I was just getting my circulation system going, and there's a liquid level switch on it that controls the water that goes into the cell. And so I was just getting that up, and when I put the water in, it pressurized, and so I didn't really know what was going on at all, but I figured it was rehydrogenated hydrogen that was in the system. And so what I did was I started the vehicle up, and I turned the hydrogen on, and I turned the gas off, and lo and behold, that vehicle ran. My F-150, which had no electrolysis. I didn't have the cell hooked up to a battery, and it started to run. And it ran for 25 minutes, and it still was running. And so I was like, okay, well, let me drive it. Let me see, if I could drive it. And so I was at a friend of mine's automotive shop, and I backed it out, and I drove down Ernest to East Woodlawn, to Box to East Ferry, and I drove down I was going approximately about 35 miles an hour, and I drove down East Ferry to Grider, and it used up all the usable hydrogen in there, and it shut off. So I went back and saw how far I had driven, and it was about 1/8 of a mile. Okay, that I had driven it, and that's the farthest I had driven it on hydrogen, and that is where my system began to differ from everyone else's. Okay, because that result, I didn't understand what was going on at that point. I'm not a chemist, or I didn't really understand totally what was going on, but seemingly I'm able to run my vehicle without any electrolysis, as you were able to witness about a week or so ago.
Okay, and then what kind of length of time can we run this vehicle? Can that vehicle be ran without electrolysis before electrolysis have to kick in?
Well, if you start the engine and
Basically, I think that's enough. So it's like crazy because what the conspiracy theory is kind of saying is like everybody who does this dies. Everybody who comes out with this or actually makes it dies, mysteriously or whatever. And I think that's interesting. That's why I wanted to highlight it. Now, is that true? I don't know. So, but this is the guy. He clearly made that thing, and he clearly died. So that is true. Then this one is just an audio video. Let me see. Oh, and I can't fast forward it either. But I got a block on here. What the fuck? Waiting for something. Anyways, let me get out of here because I'm probably going to get in trouble for that anyways. And we already covered all that. Everybody knows all that information. Let me read some of the article then. This is Cairo 7, local news. The title is Buffalo Supermarket Shooting. Who was Aaron Salter Jr., security guard killed by a gunman? That's the video that I was just playing for y'all. The guy who was talking about the water-powered car, that's who Aaron Salter is for the audience. Somebody popped in. Who's this?
It's
Who's
me,
still
bro.
here?
Yeah, it's
Thought
me
you was
coming
gone.
back in. Yeah, nah, they told me to hold off.
Okay. Yeah. So wait, before I read the article, what do you think about the conspiracy theory that this guy was the whole reason why the mass shooting happened at that grocery store?
Yeah, man, that's crazy because my coworker is sitting right here. He was just telling me about that. He said that that's the reason why. That's the reason why that guy they done that. They staged that just to kill him because and they said supposedly the CIA paid him because he created a car that runs on water.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? You think that could be true?
Man, at this point with the way this government is, bro, I wouldn't put nothing past them. To even think of something. I mean, you think about it. This guy's creating this at a time where you got BP and Shell and all of these big oil companies that are making record number profits right now. And then you go create this, and then you get the people that buy. I mean, you think about it. People that buy this shit the most, and you go create something like this, that reduces they're afraid of you at this point, in a sense, if you will, if that makes sense, like
Right. And then you create this huge elaborate scheme of white nationalism and white nationalists and the guy with the manifesto and everything, just to throw people off the scent of
and
you
maybe
just
that's why he's only gonna be charged for one murder. You heard Brittany was telling me about that
yeah, I
supposedly
saw.
they're only charging him with one count of murder or something like that.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but I did see that headline. But just the fact that he went alive too could go along with this. Like, how come he didn't die? That was a question a lot of people was asking. And if it was something like this, that would make sense.
Yeah, man. Like I say, man. Um, I wouldn't put it past our leaders. The folks that are in power. I wouldn't say. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I believe that it could be true. You know.
Doc says he's gonna get shanked or Epstein. Man, I don't want to wish that on nobody, but the first rule of what spy versus spy and like assassination is, you assassinate the assassinator, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense, and
Yeah.
that's perfect.
He'll probably end up getting killed because they know eventually he may talk. You think about it, dude. 18 years old.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Eventually he's gonna talk. Eventually guilt we'll hit him and he'll start talking. So hell yeah, they gonna kill him just like they kill anybody else that speaks against him. You know, like that's just like I don't know how true this is, and this may be totally off topic, but that's why they were saying that Reagan had like the worst or the most severe case of Alzheimer's or whatever it was, dementia, because they did that to him because he knew everything that was going on, top secret things.
I never heard that before. Damn. So yeah, spy versus spy. You assassinate the assassinator. You know, maybe he'll
Has
talk
Doc
one
ever heard
day.
that? Doc, did you ever hear that about Reagan? That that he was pretty much they injected or the that's how he.
Towards the end of his life, they were having to keep him out of public because the things he knew, he would say things in conversations that, you know, government secrets and stuff. So yeah, they kind of toward the end of him had to pull him out of public life.
Yeah,
And
but I could.
I get it. I'm okay with that, and that's part of the job when he signed on to it.
I was gonna say I totally that would make a lot of sense to me too. I mean, like
I
my
mean, if you got
grandma.
if I
He's
get
in that
there and you've got to lock me in a bunker because of the things I know because I'm starting to babble, do it, man.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have gone along with it if I didn't agree to it.
right. And my grandmama had Alzheimer's, so I know how it is. So, but what Deuce was saying though, that maybe they did that to him purposely to is that am I right, Deuce? Is that what you were
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. I've heard people say that they done that to him purposely to basically in a way to shut him up. Like he wouldn't supposedly quote unquote
Let,
wouldn't remember
let me
because
check
he knew.
conspiracy net.
Uh,
I mean, like I say, I've had people tell me that. Uh, of course, I was a kid. Hell, I wasn't even born.
you chopping up. Yeah, I never heard that. I never heard that before, but what do I know? Let me read some of the article here. It's Bob D'Angelo, Comex Media Group, National Content Desk, May 15, 2022, Buffalo, New York. Aaron Salter Jr., the security guard who confronted and fired at the assailant before being fatally wounded during Saturday's mass shooting at a Buffalo supermarket, was called a hero in our eyes by the city's police chief. He was a hero who tried to protect people in the store, Buffalo Mayor Brennan Brown told CNN earlier Sunday in an interview.
Byron
13,
Brown.
oh, 13 people were shot in the attack at Tops Friendly Market, located in predominantly black neighborhood north of downtown Buffalo. 3 people were killed in a parking lot and 7 more were fatally shot inside the store. So we know that story. It says RIP retired Buffalo PD officer Aaron Salter, who lost his life while heroically saving others today during a deadly mass shooting at Tops on Jefferson Avenue in Buffalo. May all of his victims and their loved ones be held in comfort and strength. I swear it feels like a skit or a movie. Um, just the idea of it, like, right, make him a hero and everything, and then it's like in the movie, right, like when somebody saves the world or something, like it'll just be like a little clip in the bottom of the newspaper or something, the people that know and they read it and they're like, wow, that shit is amazing, but everybody else is like, not even aware of what the hell is going on, like this one right here, like let's say the conspiracy is true, and then it's like, oh, he was a hero or whatever, and then that's what he really
Yeah,
remembered as. But like, wait a minute, so he was working on a water powered car, What about that part?
yeah. And here's how they get away with it, right? Because eventually, they'll speak on, oh, that's just a conspiracy, and like that's not true. But in all actuality, dude, I mean, like I say, like I stand on what I believe it to be to be true, be possible. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put nothing past the folks, the powers that be. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
and it's true about the first degree murder because they would have said 3 counts or 11 counts. Let me read this part right here. It says Salter, 55, who was a lieutenant with the Buffalo Police Department for more than 3 decades, engaged what's his name of Conklin, New York, inside the supermarket Saturday afternoon. However, excuse me, Grindon was wearing body armor and was not harmed by the shot. The guy returned fire, killing Salter. Of the 13 victims, 11 were black and 2 were white, Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia said. Gendron was charged with first-degree murder and pleaded not guilty on Saturday night. Salter was described as a beloved security guard by officials. So it says the guy was charged with first-degree murder. So it would have said 3 counts, 5 counts. It would have said something else. So then earlier when we said that the guy only was charged with 1, that's what it looks like right here.
Yeah.
So damn, who is the person he's charged with murder with? Is this the security guard? This is gonna be like, you know what this is gonna be like? This is gonna be like the what's the name trial, the O.J. Simpson trial, because it has everything. You know, it's racial. You got people choosing different sides. You got the guns, non-guns. This is going to be a trial that's going to be, this is a perfect fucking distraction right here. This is going to be watched day in and day out. And it's going to take 2 years for this to come to completion.
Yeah.
Or longer. And everybody's going to be cheering for one side or the other when that verdict comes down.
Shit crazy, bro.
Damn, they got his LinkedIn profile on here and everything. Ties to the top.
Man, I bet you do. Like, and that's crazy, bro. Like, this guy just, you know, family. Because I have the TikTok video
Of what?
Of the black officer who was showing the pickup truck and showing and explaining.
Oh yeah, send me that. Send me that, please. Can you send it through my Instagram DMs?
Okay, I'm gonna see. It may be too long. You know, sometime Instagram, if your video, the video is like 7 minutes long, it won't allow me to send it through Instagram.
Well, can you send it through Facebook Messenger?
Yeah, let me see.
I'm going to read a little bit. This guy was, let me read. It says, career police officer Aaron Salter Jr. joined the Buffalo Police Department out of high school. His work as a police officer first came to light in the 1992 article in the news. Salter and his partner put out a kitchen fire and caught the arsonist as he attempted to escape. Wait a minute. In the interview we just played, he said he went to college and he went to the police department after he went to college. It says in 1996, maybe I misunderstood it or something. In 1996, Salter faced a life-threatening incident when he and his partner responded to a burglary in progress, the newspaper reported. The 2 officers were confronted by a 25-year-old man who approached them from behind, pointed a loaded 12-gauge shotgun at them. My first reaction was to duck, Salter told the news. I don't enjoy looking down the barrel of a shotgun, and if it hadn't been for my partner shooting first, it would have been a golden opportunity to shoot us. My partner probably saved us. Man, I can't imagine staring down a fucking shotgun. I've never been there and don't want to be there.
Okay, yeah, I logged out of the chat real quick to try to send it, but it's telling me that it's too large to even send it through Facebook Messenger. So I don't know. Maybe I could send it to you. Would it be hard if I sent it through text message?
Yeah, because I can't.
You can send the link to it,
and I could just open it.
Yeah, and he can just. Yeah, you can send the link because the link itself to it, you don't have to send the whole video.
Okay, let me go back here.
Yeah, try that because, on my phone, I can't send that to my computer. I don't know how to.
Okay. It's from TikTok, so hopefully it'll.
Yeah, my computer might open up TikTok. I don't have that on my phone, so that's another reason why that would be a problem. It says Salter's partner shot at the assailant but missed. The man eventually surrendered to a SWAT team, the newspaper reported. After Salter's death on Saturday, even said the Buffalo Police Department has reached out to his family to offer their condolences. Okay, I don't know why they even said that. Okay, here's the cool part. It says an inventor. After retiring from the force, Salter worked on building vehicles that run on green energy and ran a company called AWS Hydrogen Technologies. I'm always working on my vehicles and or my project of running engines on water for the last 4 years or so, Salter wrote in his LinkedIn profile. I would like to realize my dream of getting cars to run off of water using my newly discovered energy source someday. Maybe he shouldn't have put that on LinkedIn. In 2015, Salter gave viewers a tour of his Ford F-150 pickup, which he said could be started with gasoline and then switched over to run on water. The guy used to laugh at me, Salter said in a 2015 online interview, as he described his work with solar items he once installed at his home. So, maybe this guy's an example of how not to go at this. And maybe if you're doing something like this, maybe get it all the way going before you start, putting it out there. Because for one, you can have people stealing your shit or whatever, or maybe somebody will come in and buy it or copy it and produce it before you. Like, that's just not the way you go at something like this, I would say. You know what I mean? I mean, it sucks that we live in an environment like that, but a potentially, revolutionary freaking invention needs to be kept pretty damn secret until you got to the point where you can like produce it in a way that can't nobody compete with you on it.
Yeah. Hey, did you get it, Chaka?
Where did you send it?
I sent it through Instagram. I'm trying to see if you got it.
Remember, we want you to be an activist, and don't take our word for it. Look that shit up. Pulley. Comment, he said they didn't give Reagan Alzheimer's, but his son and analysis says he was showing signs about 5 years into his term.